You have a Porsche Cayman S, you have a Porsche Cayman R, and then you have this. This is a track-ready version of the Cayman R, which means it has a lot of different modifications like aftermarket exhaust, which is super loud at low speeds and low RPMs. There's a lot of drone. It's faster. There's a custom tune on it. There's aftermarket wheels and brakes. The brakes actually are really loud. It's just a beastlier version of a Cayman R. But just because it's track ready doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it on the streets. If you can find some roads, some twists and turns, and opportunities to let it open up and explore it, it's actually really fun, especially at the high RPMs. That's where this thing really comes alive. But driving a track-ready Cayman R just means that it's a beast that's waiting to be unleashed. It's like a tiger in a zoo in a cage where you lock them up. It feels like a locked up Cayman, and you just need to let it go, and it's really at home on the track. But I'm just enjoying it, driving it on the streets, because it's just different. And there's a lot to enjoy about this car. It's such a driver-focused car. It's so low to the ground. It's very go-kart-like. You're really aware of the speed and the road. There's not really any technology to mess around with this car. It's just you and the road and just having fun, just driving, just for the pure thrill of it. If you're going to get this car to just cruise around and take road trips or enjoy the luxuries and convenience, there's none of that in this car. This car is purely just for the fun of driving. This isn't practical. You can't take your kids or your family in this. If you have a passenger in the passenger seat, I think they'd want to get out at the earliest opportunity. So really, if this car is just about you, so it's probably the most selfish thing you could do as a person, as a driver, is just buy a car for yourself, and this is it. It might as well just have one seat in the car and not even worry about having a passenger seat. I do wish this was manual, though. That would have made this a little bit more fun. The PDKs and the Porsches are about as good as it gets, so there's a lot to enjoy there. I took off the microphone because I want you to hear how loud it is inside the car with the drone, and especially with the brake noises. It gets really loud. To get the brakes to stop squeaking this hard, I need to really force the brakes down and get it up to temperature, because that's when the noise goes away, but it's going to be hard to do that on city streets. So I might just have to live with very noisy brakes. It's a lot of fun to take turns in this car because it hugs the ground so tightly. It's very go-kart-like. With the racing tires, it's very sticky. The one thing that bugs me about both the Macan that I have and this Cayman is these visors are so small and skinny that they don't do anything in terms of blocking the sun. They're just there kind of for show. There goes the brakes. One good thing about having high performance brakes in this car is you don't need a horn. Just lightly tap on the brakes like this. Move out of the way! I know everybody around me is like, what is wrong with this car? Look at that Porsche owner who can barely afford to buy a Porsche and can't even fix his brakes. Get out of the way! Wow. Right now I'm stuck in a bunch of traffic, and that just means the exhaust drone gets really loud, and obviously it's not that comfortable of a ride. So this is not the car that you want to be in. Luckily though, the Cayman R's did come with an option to not get air conditioning or a stereo. This one does, because without air conditioning, I would not be happy in this car for sure. A lot of popping and crackling going on back there. There goes the brakes. Feels like I'm really torturing this Cayman, but I'm not. Today's cars just don't feel or drive like this anymore. You know, there's so much technology, you're so insulated. You don't hear anything, you don't feel it. It's just, everything's driven by computers. And with this one, with having this real analog driving experience and being able to feel everything and being so connected to the road, and having something like this really well-balanced Porsche Cayman, it feels so different from all of the run-of-the-mill cars today. And with this enhancement, with the track package on it and the modifications, it just makes it come alive. I mean, I am driving a race car that's street legal on the streets, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I would love to drive this on the track, but I can totally drive this on the weekends, hit the hill country, just winding roads, and have just as much fun, just in a different way. That's when you really start enjoying it. Like this. And the pops and the crackles, it just adds to it. Oh yeah. Man. That's what I'm talking about. It's not like this car has an insane amount of power. I would say it's just right, because you can actually enjoy it. That sound. It's like at 4,000 or 5,000 RPM and beyond. The downshifts too sound really awesome. This car is not just about its straight line speed and power, although it's plenty fast. The real area where the Cayman R excels, especially this track modified version, is on winding roads and curves. That's where you really enjoy driving it. And it's hard to find other cars that can match its balance and just being able to provide you with that much fun. I've really enjoyed driving this Cayman R. The modifications have certainly added a little something extra, but even without the modifications, a Cayman R, or for that matter, a Cayman S, would be perfectly fun. The Cayman really is confidence inspiring, and if you're not an expert at driving and you don't know your way around a racetrack, and I'll admit, I'm not a track guy. I've only been to a few track days, but just being in the Cayman and the Cayman R, you feel like your skills are so much better than what it is because the car is in such control. The mid-engine layout, the balance of this car, the power is just right. And it can be one of those daily driver, weekend driver combination. And the best part to me about it is it's not ridiculously expensive. If you can't afford to get a 911 and you can get a Cayman S, I think you'd be really happy. And dollar for dollar, the value that you get for $30,000, $35,000 that you can get a used Cayman for, it's insanely good value for the money. I know I would be happy with the Cayman S, and I think you would be as well.